Welcome, YouTubers. How are you? So, hope you guys are having a good day. Let's think about something for a second. I'd like you guys to think about something for a second. So somebody just posted something on LinkedIn about cognitive dissonance, right? It's the where you constantly don't show up for yourself, maybe fall short of your goals daily, and the mental anguish internally that happens there, right? Now, is your lack of doing something having an effect on your state of mind? Because you're always doing something. If a thought is going through your head, you're doing something. If you're doing nothing, absolutely nothing, that means that all metabolic activity in your body has stopped. Right? Everything's stopped. So you're always doing something. You're always doing something right now. Now, if your mind is in the past and you're over what you did, then you're perpetuating energy from the past and putting it in the now. So I'd like you to think about how this three-dimensional reality works. Everything you see, look at your kitchen cabinets, right? You could describe that as unconscious energy, right? It's a structure that's pretty unconscious, right? I mean, you can get a hatchet on it, and I mean, if it starts screaming, I can't hear it. I mean, maybe it does. I don't know. If you start breaking it up with a hatchet, maybe it starts screaming. I don't know. Don't think so, right? Pretty inert. Pretty not very self-aware. So in nature, we see a huge variety of unawareness all the way to different levels of self-awareness. And the more self-aware that structure is, the more it interacts and affects its environment, right? There's a direct ratio at the ability of something's self-awareness to impact its environment. So people have had a much higher effect on the planet than arguably any other organism on the planet, right? Because we're more self-aware. Now, you can decide whether you think that's positive or negative. That's up to you. It's probably primarily negative because we're going through. Now, I'm not going to dissociate negative with good or bad, right? Not saying that. I'm saying negative because we're pulling more from the outside world than we're providing for it. That's what I mean by negative. So there's a negative polarity. Everything is positive or negative in its interaction with its environment, right? If it's having a positive effect on its environment, then it's getting positive results back to it. If you're primarily taking from your environment, then your environment's going to try to take from you, right? So you're seeing this heightened match of positive and negative, where the people that are taking more are having to fight to take more as more and more people move away and take care of themselves in a restful state. So that's having a effect on more and more healers in society, right? Coaches, consultants, call them whatever you want. Anybody that's trying to help you into a positive mindset, and just simple positive mindset's great. But we always want to look at things a little deeper, right? Because the reality is everything's happening right now. The truth is that the past doesn't really exist. The only reason that the laws of momentum and physics exist because you're looking at something that's unaware, that's just moving through the field back to source very slowly because it's unaware and it's just moving unawareness. But if you're aware, then why couldn't you place yourself anywhere in the field? Because it's all you, right? There isn't anything that's you. So before I go too much farther, I want to talk about a dream I just had this morning. I woke up this morning and I had a couple of meetings, and they weren't meetings that I was especially excited about. So I just wrote emails, canceled. It's like I want to meditate. I want to take some time and just see how long I can stay not moving, and see what it does to my state of being if I've mastered myself to the point where I can just be still. Ended up falling into really deep sleep, and this always happens to me when I have a lots of sleep and I get into a deep meditative stage. You kind of have like a really vivid daydream. And this daydream was at the beginning, I was walking with somebody. It was a woman who was scantily clad, swimsuit. She was going to some kind of public speaking event, and I was her assistant. I was there to support her. And I can't remember. I couldn't tell what aspect I was supporting her in until later. So we went to a big concert hall, and she went down and she got ready to speak. And I don't know why she was scantily clad. Maybe it was just me, right? I don't know. She was wearing, just regular swimsuit. It wasn't like she was naked or anything. Anyway, I went and I was walking in the stands, and I recognized somebody that I knew, but there was copies of them in the seats sitting next to each other, and they had kind of a mask. They were covered in like a skin where I could tell who it was, but they were covered in a masked skin that made them look like they were just very inauthentic, I guess you could say, right? Where they're just sitting there. It reminded me of somebody just copying each other, right? Just doing what everybody else is doing, sitting next to each other. And I said hi, and, I didn't think anything of it. I didn't berate them or anything. I just wanted to see how they were doing. And it was like two heads talking at the same time, telling me the same thing when I asked the question. It was really weird. Had a shiny look to them. Shrunken. They were kind of shrunken, and it was just very weird. Anyway, so I walked back, and to like a really, it was like we're living in a packed little village, a cute little village, right? We had little houses with little lawns out in front, and a lot of stuff going on, a lot of activity, a lot of community activity where people were kind of doing this and that. And I walked by somebody and they say, "Hey, how's it going? I love your coat." I said, "Yeah, the kids made it for me." And I had this white coat, and it was covered in flowers and birds and like butterflies. So yeah, the kids made it for me. And she's like, she laughed. And I was walking past, and it felt like I was walking past the house where the girl that I had accompanied down to the stage to speak. I was walking by her place, and I walked through a gate, and I could tell that my house, I had this little shed that was attached to her house that was my little shanty. That was where I was living. And as I walked through the gate, an older woman walked up behind me, and she said, "Are you the Oracle?" And I said, "Yeah, hold on just a second." And so she walked behind me, and then I walked into the shed, and his name was Henry. I don't know why his name was Henry. Old man sitting at a table, and there was only room in this little shed for like a little table and a couch. It looked like I slept on a couch, and just a little kitchenette right next to the couch. And it's 5:55 as I'm talking about this. And Henry didn't say anything. I was like, "How you doing, Henry?" And he's like, and I started to look for something because she had just asked for an oracle. So I was allowing myself to feel what she needed. So I was looking through the house and figuring out what I needed to get for her. And then that was the end of the dream. So now, and since I brought the term oracle up, I kind of want to talk about The Matrix and why The Matrix is such a powerful movie. And it resonated with me so deeply. I remember I took my little brother to see it when The Matrix first came out in 2000. 25 years ago now, right? My brother was 15 years old when The Matrix came out. And I took him. He was still in high school. I was 25. I'm 10 years older. And remember when Neo goes to see the Oracle, remember? And the children that Neo sees, and the kid that is bending the spoon, and the kid says something really interesting. He says, it's not the spoon that bends. It's you that bends. What does that mean? You're detaching from the idea that everything is static, all right? It's constantly fluid based on its amount of self-awareness. And if you're instantaneously connected in the quantum to everything, then it's all a part of you. All someone has to do is give you permission, and then that creates your understanding of how that works and your ability to change that thing and disassociate it from anything in the past. You can create whatever you want. Is your ability to change your way of viewing everything that works, right? It's just momentum is an unconscious act. Momentum from the past is an unconscious thing, right? When you're unconsciously taking energy from the past and saying, oh, look, this existed 5 seconds ago like that, why can't it just be gone? Jesus said, if you tell this mountain to go, then it should leave, right? If it's unconscious, you can affect it however you want. It's unconscious. And I believe that's the real privilege of coming to three-dimensional space, because if you can really master yourself, master your own mind, and stay still, and stay present without tying yourself to the past, thinking negatively or positively about yourself in any way, right? In any direction, positive or negative, because you're tying yourself to some kind of idea of what you are or aren't, which doesn't make sense whatsoever. None. Right? You should have completely neutral about everything, right? Because it's all just happening right now. Why try to affect it at all unless it gives you permission? Right? Now you can try to affect it positively, but teach from a point of awareness and self-awareness and understanding. So that's the purpose behind me starting, meditations on my channel. So like, share, and subscribe. You never know what kind of meditation I'm going to come up with this channel. And I never know what I'm going to decide to do every day. So I don't even know what kind of message I'm going to bring. I mean, I just got this dream about the Oracle, and it prompted me to talk about this. Now, if you remember, at the end of The Matrix, what killed Neo was him constantly trying to fight the systems within the Matrix. And when he finally stopped fighting, after he was resurrected, right? Finally, he fought until it killed him. And then when he raised up, obviously this is a very type and shadow of the messianic figure. When he raised up, he's just like, no, I'm not fighting anymore. All the bullets just dropped to the ground. And at that point, he could see the Matrix. He didn't see it before. All of a sudden, it was laid out before him. Oh, look. It's just all information and energy. And that's actually what that picture shows. When he wakes up and he's looking down the hallway, you can see it's just information running down the walls. It's all it is. Structure, frequency that provides bits of information that moves a specific amount of energy depending on what the structure's like. So that's all it is. And if you think about it even deeper, the way he defeated, he just blocked all the attacks, right? When Agent Smith attacked him, and then he jumped into him, became one with him, and Agent Smith ceased to exist the way he was. But Agent Smith, holding on to the past, wanted to take over that whole world, turn everything to like he was, and ended up destroying himself because he could not let go of the past and take on the state that Neo had taken on, right? He's still pitting himself against creation. Why pit yourself against creation, right? We're all creating it together. So all you have to do is just say, stop. If something's attacking you, stop. And teach. Look, get peace. Love. So yeah, the job of the Oracle is to teach children how to control themselves. That's the basic mode of operation of any teacher, right? Doesn't matter. The first job you have to teach kindergarten kids is how to control themselves, right? There's many different layers on how to control yourself, especially when it comes to even the way that you think about yourself. What are you? All you're doing is you're a neutral thing, and then what you're creating should be neutrality when you're really super grounded and just speak the truth from a place of neutrality and clarity. It is what it is, right? Let's get an Oracle card. What does the Oracle have to say? I don't know. What do you guys think? What does the Oracle have to say? Be still. Be still. I love the multicolored look of this picture. Be still, because you're coming in contact with every frequency that there is when you're still, right? Everything from the lowest frequencies to the highest frequencies you're connected to. Love you guys. Have a beautiful day, and I'll catch you next time.